The show is a loosely based sitcom of my book, Are You There, Vodka? It's Me, Chelsea. We couldn't put vodka in the title for various reasons because now we're on network television and they don't approve Chelsea full blast. So we had to modify it. So it's Are You There, Chelsea, which kind of means several different things. Am I there? Who knows? Yes, and I'm very pleased with it. I'm very pleased with I'm pushing the envelope because that's what I like to do, and that's my shtick. And so we are accomplishing that, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. And then I get to watch someone else play me, which is a lot easier than playing myself. The only notes I give her are to say it without smiling at the end. She goes, "But it feels so mean." I'm like, "Well, welcome to my world." Well, I get to play my older sister Sloane, who is in real life a Mormon and very uptight, and I think has only had sex with her husband. So in this version, she's not Mormon. She might be Christian or Catholic. I'm not sure what she is. Either way, she's very uptight, and she's kind of got the same kind of sensibility as my sister. A little bit, thinks of her younger sister Chelsea as very irresponsible and irreverent, and she can't be reined in. Although there's a lot of love between them, there's a lot of acrimony, but it's very funny acrimony. So my sister's very pleased that I am wearing a wig and look very much like her on a sitcom on national television. She thinks she's famous, and the show hasn't even aired. Well, my family's used to me embarrassing them because I have been doing it since I could speak, and they're okay with it. I mean, we all go on much nicer vacations now, so there's that bonus. This is a totally different kind of medium than my talk show. This is a sitcom, so there's a live audience. I mean, my talk show there's a live audience too, but it's very intimate. This is a big live audience, and there's sets and it's scripted. So my show's not scripted, so it's been an interesting challenge having me memorize lines. That doesn't always work out so well. So there's always a little improvising on my end, much to the chagrin of the other actors who are like, what am I supposed to say if you say that? Well, I mean, I think the nature of any sister and brother relationship is like you're kind of stuck with each other because you grow up together. So you wouldn't be friends in real life. You would never be interested in each other. But by nature of just growing up and sleeping in the same beds and having to see you take baths together and you can yell and scream and fight, but at the end of the day you're kind of always back together. I mean, my sisters in real life and my sister Sloane in real life, whose real name is Shoshana, and I would never be friends in real life, and I remind her of that daily. Sloane's kind of in and out of of Chelsea's whole world, and so she has acrimonious relationships with everyone that Chelsea loves, because Chelsea's life is so different than Sloane's. The characters of Dee Dee and Sloane are really funny together, and Nikki and Sloane are really funny together, because we get to kind of, go back and forth and spar and have repartee. But, I'm very, I'm a Christian girl, and I find things very offensive, but I'm also quick-witted and sharp, and I find everybody to be less honorable than myself. That's why I'm holding my shoulders back like this.
It works.
I like the term quarter life crisis. I think that describes it to a T. I think it's kind of you're in your 20s. I mean, that's how I felt when I wrote this book that the show is based on is, I was having fun in my 20s and people would say, well, God, aren't you having a little too much fun? And I'm like, but this is what my 20s are for. I knew I was going to have to get serious in my 30s, which I have. I can't afford to behave that way anymore. So I kind of set aside that time knowing that it was to be having fun and to kind of throw caution to the wind and to go out and have lots of sex and, drink what I felt like drinking, and it, I didn't really worry about it, and it kind of worked out great. I mean, it gave me a big career, so we'll see what happens to Chelsea in the show. The only thing that's surreal is to see Laura Prepon's ass because it's much more shapely than mine. I've never had a keister, and she's got a badonkabonk, and that's what I call her, badonkabonk. She's like the white Beyonce. The audience is great. I mean, it's hard to kind of, when the audience laughs at everything, it's kind of hard to, you have to stop and wait for them to laugh, And I'm come from stand-up, so I'm accustomed to that. But it is kind of, it's off-putting because it's a different kind of environment. So when everyone's laughing, you don't sometimes you get a line gets lost or you don't get. So it's just kind of finding the pace of that. But it's I mean to have an audience. A live audience is great. I like single camera and I like multi-camera. So I think if you find the right mix of it, it's perfect. No, I mean, everyone always says, "Oh, are you trying to be edgy?" I'm not trying to be edgy. This is who I am. It just happens to come across that way, which is fine with me. I don't really care.